Good morning on this Tuesday, 19th week in Ordinary Time, looking at Ezekiel chapter 2, 8 to 3, 4. Just one thing from yesterday. I know, the homily was a little bit long yesterday, but one important thing that I think I forgot to mention is that, if you remember, it's this vision that Ezekiel has, the very beginning of the book of Ezekiel, and he sees this vision of these four living creatures serving has the wheels of this divine chariot that carries the glory of God that comes to him. And it's also meant to represent or symbol, maybe not symbolize, but maybe just put it better. This is like the heavenly imagery of the inner sanctuary of God. So a lot of the things in the temple, which was like the earthly sanctuary for God, built by human hands, where God dwells, that temple in Jerusalem, specifically the Holy of Holies, a lot of that imagery that Ezekiel sees also appears in the inner sanctuary in the temple. But the idea, of course, is that Ezekiel is seeing the real heavenly sanctuary that's made not by human hands, but by the very hand of God. So just find that very fascinating as well. But today we can look at the expression, two expressions actually, but the first one is the expression, you are what you eat. It's a common expression that we say all the time, typically to kids, as they want to eat junk food. We just want to tell them, no, you got to eat healthy stuff. You are what you eat. And so as we look at the reading for today, it begins with the Lord giving his divine mission to Ezekiel. So he asked him to stretch out his hands. He's going to hand him something, and to not be rebellious like the way that Judah is rebellious. And so the Lord directs him, hold out your hand and eat what I give you. And so what he gives Ezekiel in this vision is a scroll with writing on both sides, writing front and back. And in the scroll is written lamentation, wailing, and woe. And Ezekiel, very much also like in the book of Revelation, this also happens. Ezekiel is commanded to eat the scroll, to consume it. And so just look at the imagery of eating, how we consume something, especially something that is good. We consume it, we chew on it, we digest it, and we know from our sciences that, the food that we consume then breaks up into various, proteins and vitamins and substance, whatever it is, and it goes throughout our whole body, and it becomes part of us, and it fuels us and energizes us. And so even though God's given Ezekiel words of, really could be words of desolation, words of judgment, a lot of lamentation, wailing, and woe, Ezekiel, though, chews on it and digests it, and the word of God really becomes a part of him. This isn't just, the imagery isn't just saying, okay, God, Ezekiel, just say these words that I'm going to tell you to say. No, it has to become a part of Ezekiel. It must be ingrained in his life, just like the way the word of God must be in ours as well. It must be, in a way, chewing and digestion, and it's not just simple, oh, that's nice, no, literally becoming a part of us. And in the Mass and in Eucharist, we consume the word of life. We consume the word of God, one of the titles of Jesus, the word, the Logos, and we consume and digest. And it really, it's meant to be really not just something that we do on the side, but it's the very grain and fiber and life of us. And so too of Ezekiel. Another quick expression involving Eden that I really loved is that an open mind is like an open mouth. And so what does an open mouth do? Well, an open mouth, we put food in our mouths, and again, we consume what we enjoy and we throw out what is bad. Now, I wouldn't take that, literally in the sense of, we should spit out stuff that we don't like. But sometimes we do. We put something in our mouths, and we just kind of have to turn our heads or something, or excuse ourselves, grab a napkin and spit it out. It doesn't happen every time, but you know what I mean. Like, open mind is like an open mouth. So to bring in what is good, to consume what is good, and to reject what is bad. And so, in our lives, we also got to just be aware of what are we feeding ourselves, in terms of our entertainment, and in terms of, what we do and what we say. What are we feeding ourselves with? Are we feeding ourselves, with the message of God and with the word, person, and life of Jesus Christ? Are we consuming that, and are we accepting that, or are we feeding ourselves junk food and things that aren't good for us? But more on Ezekiel tomorrow. We're going to see his mission start to be slowly played out. Have a nice day, and God bless.